am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to all my subscribers. Today I want to do the witchy tag, my magical YouTube journey, or I should say my magical YouTube journey. And this tag was created by Starlight the Wild Witch. But I found some really fun videos, which I will link below. So make sure you check them out as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, number one, what is your channel name and the significance behind it? Obviously, Cosmic Lunar Soul. So from the YouTube perspective, it was created because that was my handle everywhere else. I created this channel to be a complement to my shop. And just kind of I wanted to have like a social presence across platforms. So I wanted everything to be the same. So therefore my channel name is my handle. Everywhere else is my business name and all of that. The name itself, just in general, zooming out from YouTube, I actually wanted to be the Cosmic Witch, but that handle was taken on YouTube, or Instagram rather, and I just wanted something to do with, you know, cosmic or the moon or whatever. So I went through a few different iterations of something and ended up on Cosmic Lunar Soul. I like the flow of having three names and being now, like after a few years being on like forums and other social media, it's very interesting to see how people refer to me online. So some people refer to me as Cosmic, and then there's a subset of people that refer to me as Lunar, and it's very interesting. So I really like the handle, I guess, you know, even though it wasn't what I wanted originally, but yeah. So I wanted something cosmic because I do like to work with the moon, but then also in my downtime, aka my real job, I was an aerospace engineer when I started this. I've moved around jobs and stuff, but my background is in aerospace engineering. So I wanted something to do with space and the moon and all of that, and that's Cosmic Lunar Soul was born. Number two, what type of content do you create on your channel? So I do a combination of a few things. I do have live streams. They are mostly my my readings. I will do live tarot readings, but then I also do a live stream with a life full of simplicity every month. So I guess it's kind of, does that count as a podcast? I don't know. But it's a live collab where we discuss divination, witchcraft, you know, decks and stuff like that. But then my main content includes unboxings, flip throughs. I want to branch out into like actual reviews where I go back and look at decks that I've had for a while, and you know, what I like, what I don't like, kind of like a where are they now kind of thing. I think would be cool. You guys let me know if you like that idea. And I also want to add a little bit more of the witchcraft side of things. My channel is objectively very divination heavy, so I want to kind of get back into the witchy side of things, but I find that it's a little hard to do. Number three, what inspired me to start my channel? Like I mentioned, I started it as a complement to my shop. Basically, I created it so I could more or less to advertise the products in my shop. But then after I created it, I realized that I don't want to just create content to sell to people, because it's not a very good way to connect with people. So then my channel kind of turned into, well, sharing my witchcraft journey, which ended up turning into sharing my tarot journey, which ended up turning into, you know, part of that was getting more practice giving readings. So that's where the live streams came in. Sharing the decks that I have and my opinions on them. That's where the flip throughs come in. So that's kind of how it naturally evolved to what it is today. I've been on YouTube for quite a few years, actually. Let me see.
One eternity later.
So, actually, in October, it will be my official, like, 3 years on YouTube. But I wasn't really consistent with it until I kind of released a video a month. And then I picked it up probably, I would say maybe spring of 2021. So I didn't really know where my channel was going and stuff like that. And I was kind of just figuring things out from there. But I've technically been on YouTube way longer than that. I did videos and stuff like that before I moved over to Cosmic Lunar Soul, or before I created Cosmic Lunar Soul rather. But I it was just sort of like something fun to do. It wasn't like focused. It was just because I wanted to do a little video, right? So I wasn't really serious about YouTube until creating Cosmic Lunar Soul, but then I also didn't know where I wanted it to go, so I wasn't consistent until about 2021. But technically, I'll be coming up to my 3-year mark since my first video in October. All right, number 5. What are your hobbies outside of your channel? So one of the big ones is I play dodgeball competitively, so that takes up a lot of my time. I play locally here in my city, and then I also play nationally. So that is the competitive level, and they tend to be once or twice a month in other cities. So I travel a lot between March and Nationals is actually Labor Day weekend. So March and like Labor Day weekend. And then there are one-off tournaments throughout the year. So there's also one in like October, one in January, that kind of thing. So that takes up a lot of my time, money, and energy. But I really love it. It's a great way to meet people, and it's great exercise. And, you know, I'm going to keep doing it until I fall apart physically and I cannot do it anymore. But I also enjoy crafting. I don't craft consistently, but I enjoy crafting when I need it. So, like, I'll make stickers. I want to get it into junk journaling next year. Hint, hint for the channel. And I also just like to do general fitness stuff. Trying to get back into it. Got to get back into shape. And I like hanging out with my friends, you know, making time for my friends. I like to travel a lot. So I have like designated travel buddies. Actually recently got back from Spain, so that was super fun. And yeah, I'm also a foodie and wine connoisseur. So I enjoy doing wine tastings, beer tastings, food tastings, and stuff like that. Number 6, is there a new style of content you want to try? I won't say, I don't know. I feel like style of content is not necessarily style of content, but subject of content, I'll say. There really aren't many styles I want to try out. I've kind of found my niche, I think, in sort of medium length videos. But I do enjoy doing the discussions, kind of like what I'm doing here, what I did with my spicy science video. They just take a little more bandwidth to do from start to finish, because I want to make sure that my ideas are at least hashed out to at least some regard. I don't need a full script, but I at least need an outline for what I want to do. That's why I enjoy doing these tags, actually, because that part is done for me already. But I tried my hand at some educational stuff, and I feel like I kind of want to do some more of that. It's one of those, like, I guess, imposter syndrome things where I feel like maybe I'm not the best authority to talk about it, but I do have opinions on it. It's a very weird line to balance, I suppose. So I do want to do that, but I also want to be a little more creative and find ways to incorporate like witchcraft and tarot into something more creative, which is what I mentioned before. Drum roll. I mentioned before with wanting to do junk journaling. I kind of did a video before, but junk journaling is a lot harder than TikTok and like Reels make it seem. So I'm going to have to do a little stuff on the side, and I think it'll be perfect because over the holidays I'll get a lot of knickknacks and ephemeral and stuff like that that I can use in the new year. And I think the new year is a fun way to start because vision boarding is very popular in the beginning of the year. So that will be the kick in the butt that I need. And I also want to use it to show off some of the things that I've gotten over the year, where I guess it's part of me being a little more like transparent with you guys in terms of like showing that I use the stuff that I actually like talk about on camera during my flip throughs. Because if you don't watch my live streams, you probably don't ever see them. So I want to do that. I want to, combine a few more educational things, get a little more crafty with my channel. Just try to find things to branch out that are similar enough to my current content, but not so different that it's just like that's in left field, Number 7, do you plan out your content? Yes and no. I have certain things that are recurrent monthly. I get products from Running Press to review. So that includes like monthly. I usually have a set of things monthly that I need to flip through. I also get my subscription box from the Witch's Moon, so that is a recurring monthly thing. But then I try to sprinkle in other things here and there. So stuff like this, where I do tags, different tags, whether it be witchy or tarot or whatever. And then sometimes I try to sprinkle in like a discussion topic where like similar to my Don't Call Me Pagan video or my spicy witchcraft video, where I open it up. I guess it's a great way for me to get what's off my chest, and for you guys to learn a little bit more about me. And it's a way to feel more connected in the YouTube community, which is a little difficult. I've mentioned in previous videos, community works differently on YouTube than traditional social media. So it's really harder. It feels harder for me to connect with people. But I realized what the question was, do I plan things out? So some things are planned in the sense that I already know they're going to happen every month. I don't necessarily know every month what specific video is going to go out. Like if I have 5 decks that I did a flip through of, I'll just kind of randomize it and pick one and, release it. But I do try to at least have a basic plan so that way I have some content to give to you guys, especially when I'm, feeling a little burnt out or something. But the big topics and tags, they just come up when they come up. So what are your tools of the trade? So this is like your cameras, mics, lighting, software. Let's talk about the cameras first. I have 2 cameras. I have the GoPro Hero 9, which is usually my talking head camera, but then I switch out another camera for my top down videos. And then I also have a GoPro, what is this? I think this is a 5 or 6. It's one of the older medium-aged GoPros. It's not the oldest, but not the newest either. So I have 2 cameras. This one is designated as like my live stream overhead camera. I have 2 because back in the day, I had dreams of grandeur of doing like a little floating head and a top down view during my live streams, which I used to do. If you go back to old videos, you'll see it. But I realized that at 7 p.m., I would love to just sit in my bonnet and not be zhuzhed up for the camera. So that went away. But I still use the other camera for that because that's how my software is set up, which I'll talk about in a second. So I have my mic here. This is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but this is the Fifine or Fifine K678 mic. It's actually pretty affordable. It's about $40. It's a USB mic, which means you don't need any like adapters if you had like an XLR microphone. But it's also a little better than the 35 millimeter jack microphones. So it depends what you want. If you want more portable, you might want to go with the 35 millimeter, or if you don't have a computer to plug it in and stuff like that. If you work mostly off your phone, you want to go probably 35 millimeter jack. For my lights, I have 2 to 3. I have my main ring light, and this is what provides like the dominant light for all of my settings, and I just move it around, and I'll explain that in a second. And then I have my light on the side, which gives some side lighting for both me when I'm doing my talking heads and my top view. But that is another ring light on its own little stand. And then I have a little desk lamp here that provides a little like warmth. So you can see what I mean here. You can see no warmth, warmth, no warmth, warmth. That's just like a little IKEA lamp. And I only use that. Oh, Luna's, oh no, there. Luna's in the background. I only use that for my talking head videos. I don't have a need for it for my overhead because my overhead is what is right over here, and I'm close enough to this lamp, which is literally right here off camera. My rigs, I have 3 different rigs. I have my main setup that holds my mic and my main ring light and my talking head camera. So this is a Viazin stand. I have 2 of them. So my Viazin stand is a 6-in-1, and technically I'm only using 3 out of the 6 right now. And that retails for like $140 on Amazon. I'll make sure to link everything that I can find. I'll make sure to link down below. But it did come with like the mic arm, an adapter. It came with the ring light, and it had a few other adapters, and it's pretty versatile actually. And then I have a small one which has the second ring light. That one retails for $70. I find that the way that I use my setup, I could have just bought a second ring light because I don't use that as much as I thought I would. And then I have like a regular clamp arm that holds like, it's meant to hold like a phone. So it has that squeezy thing on it. And it that houses my overhead camera most of the time. But sometimes when I'm recording reels on my phone, I'll use that as well to hold my phone instead. For my software, I record through OBS, which is Open Broadcast System. I'll put all the information in the description. It's free software if you you don't even need to be tech savvy. There's 1.5 million tutorials on YouTube about how to use literally the most obscure part of OBS. So pretty sure you could figure it out. My editing software is DaVinci Resolve. I just recently switched over to that, and I'm really liking it. I started off with HitFilm Express, which was really nice, but really taxing for the computer that I was on. I've heard it's gotten better and less CPU heavy over the years, but I've switched to other stuff since then and have settled on DaVinci Resolve, and it does everything that I need pretty well, mind you. And then I also, for my live streams, I'll use a combination of OBS and Restream. Restream allows me to do certain things that OBS doesn't do very well. Allow guests on very easily. I compare to a guest YouTube channel. So when I go live, it goes live on my channel, goes live on their channel, and then the chats sync up. And then also allows me to stream to multiple places at once. So if I want to stream to YouTube, to Facebook, to Twitch, I could do all of that at once, and all of the chats will sync up into one place. So that way I can keep track of everything. So that's why I like to use Restream. And I think that is pretty much everything for like my dominant like setup. Everything else is aesthetic. It's, neither here nor there. So number 9, as a content creator, do you experience burnout? If so, what does that look like for you, and how do you recover from it? Absolutely. So one of the things that I'm very aware of is that YouTube can never become my main source of income. Nothing on social media would ever replace, in my opinion. The likelihood of being able to replace an engineer's salary is very low. So this is something I do for fun. I want to make enough money that I can kind of put it back into the channel, so that way I get all of this like stuff, and improve the videos for you guys. So I do kind of have on my mind stuff that I want to, anyways, it's not the question. So I do work a full-time job. I told you guys I travel fairly regularly during this time of year, especially for dodgeball, but then I also like to just travel for fun. And then doing all of that while trying to record, edit, comment, share can become a lot. So a lot of times it's not that I'm burnt out on YouTube. It's just that my job comes first, dodgeball comes second, travel, YouTube, everything else is kind of fits in various orders after that. By the time I get to some of those lower priorities or medium priorities, I'm exhausted. I don't feel like being on for the camera. I just want to be a couch potato with my kitties sometimes. A lot of times I find I experience this burnout mostly when I have a lot of editing to do. Editing is probably my least favorite part of this, because when I edit, it's editing and posting scheduling combo. I generally do it all at once, so it's exhausting. My editing is not even that extensive either, and for most things like my flip throughs and stuff, I have a whole rhythm for it, but something about editing, it just wears me out. And it has a lot to do with like the screen time that I have. And I also am trying to grow my Discord. I am host and co-host in a few chats on Amino. So I have a lot of social media responsibilities that are also on top of what I want to do with my channel. So a lot of times it can just get a little overwhelming, a little tiring. It kind of feels like, the moments where it starts to feel more of a job and less fun, I just need to take a break. So usually what I'll do is I try to have a few videos scheduled on reserve, so that way I could just take a break. You guys probably noticed that, you might not have noticed. Every once in a while, you'll go and you'll see like a little gap in between my uploads. Not a huge one. It's usually never more than a week, but sometimes you'll just see that I've uploaded weekly instead of twice a week. And those are the times where I just need to spread out the content that I already have made and ready to upload, because I just don't have the bandwidth to create more, to edit, to upload, to schedule. So that helps a little bit. I also find that, I'm not the only host or co-host in these chats, so I can kind of say, hey, I need to take like an R&R day or something like that. And also I find that, I've been putting a lot of time and energy into growing my Discord on the side. So unfortunately, like my Instagram has really been the one to take the biggest hit. So I'm trying to find ways to make the workflow a little easier on me. And I think I've found some things. The problem is the trial and error is exhausting as well. But I think that everybody kind of experiences burnout. And then I think, too, I feel a lot of pressure sometimes, because I feel like people are really great about commenting on my videos, but I'm so bad at keeping up with other people's videos, and I forget to comment because I watch YouTube on my TV a lot, very rarely on my phone. So when I'm going through watching stuff, I realize like, oh, I got to go back and comment. And it's not supposed to feel like a job, but it does sometimes. And then I feel guilty about it. And it's a whole thing. So yeah, I would say like trying to keep up the networking side of things is also exhausting, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out. Number 10, which video are you the most proud of and why? A lot of people for this said their first video, but to me, I feel like I'm always proud of any improvements I make on within like the next videos that I put out, whether I've edited something a little better, or I appear more confident on camera, or I include something different from what I've been doing so that way I keep it exciting. So it's not that I'm ever proud of a specific video. I'm just, I guess, proud that I find ways to continue growing and getting better and improving for you guys and for me to make things easier on myself as well. So I guess no one video. I'm always just happy to keep on improving and keep doing better and trying to come up with new things. So 11, who inspires you within the magical pagan YouTube community? I feel like a few people, but I feel like I've said a few before and I'll list them below. But I really enjoy the witch's cookery. She has she has similar, but not exactly the same perspective on magic as I do. I think I'm a lot more secular than she is, but I enjoy her content because it's just different enough that it's fun to watch. But then I also love Taya Kennedy. We have very similar perspective on things, but she's more folky than I am. Or I should say more into witchcraft or folk traditions than I am. That sounds so weird if I call someone folky, I think. And then let's see, who else? Oh, I love Amethyst Ascension. I found her through her digital journals, and she's the one that kind of got me down the path of digital journaling. And then eventually is the reason I got into regular journaling. So I really like Amethyst Ascension. She's so sweet, and she has a Facebook community too that I joined. But again, I told you about the pressures of commenting. But I joined, and she has a really great community over there. I have recently started diving into Echo the Saving Sorceress. She has the sweetest channel. It's so eclectic, and she like shares different, like she did a little mushroom hat the other day, and she'll show like her hauls from like thrift stores and other stuff, her little like aesthetic hauls and then other things. She did her first tarot deck flip through. It's so fun to watch because we were talking about her getting her first deck and she finally got it. So it's been fun to watch her journey. She's so sweet, and you probably see her commenting everywhere because she's just so good with the social side of things. I also really enjoy Ivy the Occultist. She's not a small channel. I guess I don't know where medium starts and stops and like big starts and stops, but She has a really cool perspective because she talks a lot about chaos magic and comes from that perspective. And of course, I found her through like her sigil videos and stuff like that. But I really like how she lays out instructions and stuff like that. She has a very practical method of relaying information, and it jives with me. I also really love Robin's reflections. Her video is I like because I feel like she's somewhere in between in terms of like the woo side of tarot, but also practical. And I like her perspectives when she does readings, and when she does like her flip throughs, just to see what her opinion on the art is, because I'm very picky, so it's nice to kind of hear other people's opinions on stuff like that. That's kind of why I do flip throughs. I really enjoy Dr. Mystical. He's the one that actually finally got me to take the plunge into live streams. I found a live stream video of him. I think he was talking with Tarot Oracle, and they were talking about, live streaming over on Twitch versus YouTube. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to make the wrong decision, blah, blah, blah. But I really like his style of reading as well. He's really fun, has a great community during his live stream. So if you ever get the chance to check him out, you should do that. Violet Hummingbird, she has also a great community. She has her own Discord as well. She does she does some videos where I'm just like, this is sort of the stuff that I want to try out that I mentioned earlier. She does she's joined us for like the planning side of things. She does live streams as well. So I love bouncing ideas off of her because she does her live streams through a different program than me, and we kind of just talk like, workflow almost. And she's just so sweet. Her vibes are so fun on YouTube, and it very calming. I like to put her live streams on in the background on my TV and just kind of listen when she gives readings, because she has a much more calm demeanor, I feel like, than I do. But yeah, and then of course, last but certainly not least, because we share collabs together and all of that, is A Life Full of Simplicity. I love her channel. She also does flip throughs. I like that we do our flip throughs. We come from a very different mindset with our flip throughs, and I really appreciate that, because I feel like between the two of us, someone is gonna like it. So my flip throughs are very silent. It's just music, and I like to show the cards. And then she likes to talk through them and talk through the cards, and you kind of get her perspective of each card as you go through. And whereas I kind of give a summarization at the end, and I really love just that we have a very, very similar mindset in terms of tarot, but our videos come from different perspectives, and I feel like our channels complement each other very well because of that. But if you like to see new releases, if you do enjoy the talk through, flip throughs, stuff like that, make sure you subscribe. So that answers number 12. My bad, guys. Are there any channels you would recommend? So there we go. Number 13, do you believe there are misconceptions about being a magical pagan YouTuber? Absolutely. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that people are pagan, which is why I made my Don't Call Me a Pagan video. I don't like to be called pagan. I'm not pagan. I don't do any of the pagan crap. Not that it's crap. I just, you know what I'm saying. So I think there's that. And then there's also just the misconception that because we're in the magical or, witchcraft sphere, we have the answers to everything. Like, people will ask me really obscure questions, and I'm like, I don't know what's led you to believe that I would know this. So that also leads me into the next question. What do you like or dislike about being on YouTube? Biggest thing I like about being on YouTube is being able to build those connections with other content creators, and while also being able to have a voice in certain subjects. being able to put my own flair on it. I mentioned previously that my job, I'm an engineer, so I don't get the chance to be very creative at work very often. So this is a creative outlet for me as well. But some of the things I don't like about YouTube, coming from just purely the YouTube side of things, is like the game, right? You kind of have to play the game with YouTube in order to get that reach. This is across all social media, but YouTube's interesting in the sense that it almost rewards. No, I'm not going to even say almost. It does absolutely reward being clickbaity to a degree. And it's very hard because it feels very slimy to do. I watch a lot of videos about how to improve in YouTube, things, changes to YouTube, blah, 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 what you should be doing, what you should no longer be doing. And there was a discussion about this, actually, about being clickbaity, right? It's almost like you have to find ways to be clickbaity without being clickbaity. And it's the game of trying to get your content out there is a difficult line to balance. Objectively, being in the tarot sphere, if your videos aren't about an ex coming back into your life, someone's thinking about you, who your next love is going to be, are you pregnant or not, you're not, just by default, not going to get the reach that those videos do. And sometimes it can be very frustrating, I guess is a good way to put it, because it's just something I'm never going to do. It's not something I'm never going to be a part of. Honestly, it feels very disingenuous. I don't knock anyone that does this, but I know that if I would ever do that on my channel, I would be selling myself out to the YouTube algorithm, is basically what it is. So, I do kind of, it's one of the things I don't like about YouTube in general, because I feel like, that does happen on other social media, but there's enough ways where you can structure things to kind of get around it. Honestly, it is a problem across all social media when it comes to tarot, and it is what it is, and I find ways to work around it. What are some of the challenges and struggles you face creating on this platform, and how do you overcome them? So I mentioned previously about the whole clickbaity thing. The YouTube is a balance between your titles, your thumbnail, when you release your videos, and it's hard when you're a newer creator because you don't have all of those analytics. So a lot of times it's trial and error, or you can opt to pay for third-party things like vidIQ or TubeBuddy to help you navigate that. And I get it. YouTube doesn't have the analytics because you're a smaller channel, which means you're not bringing in as many data points. But I wish that YouTube had some of those things built in, like a thumbnail analyzer. Even if you get bigger, YouTube doesn't have those features available to you. You have to use a third-party thing. You can do A/B testing in TubeBuddy. The keyword search is, I don't know if that's one of their free features, but it's, I wish YouTube had better analytics. I also wish YouTube had a better editor. I've found on multiple occasions that I have wanted to add a caption or something to a video, and you can't do that in YouTube editor. YouTube editor, you can really just trim, and I think you can add music. But don't even call it an editor at that point. It's a trimmer. You're what annoying. Okay, it's annoying, guys. So number 16, what is your opinion about monetization, paywalls, and other exclusive content, i.e., Patreon memberships, blah blah blah? I love it. I think that I'm very happy actually that YouTube has made it a little easier to get into the monetization game. It's one of the reasons that a lot of people go to Twitch first, because it's easier to get into their monetization program. But in the long run, just from what I've researched, in the long run, YouTube is the better option. So I like that they've made it easier to get into that. But I think that it's an excellent way to create, a source of income as a creator. And as long as you're providing the content to make the fees make sense, then go for it. I love it. I have wanted to do that myself. I technically do have memberships. I just don't advertise them yet because I feel like, if someone joins, I know I can make it work, but it's not something that I've been putting quite the most focus on yet. Basically because I've been trying to build up just my tarot clientele in general, and then also trying to build up my Discord. So, just prioritization wise, it's a little lower on my list, but I think monetization is great for content creators as long as they are providing that quality. And I'm very pleased that YouTube actually has made it a little bit easier to get into the monetization program. 17, do you have any boundaries on this platform? Why or why not? I have boundaries across all of my social media. I do not allow people to mistreat me in my comments. I will immediately block you. And I will delete your comment without hesitation. My channel, my social media is not a democracy. It is a Britatorship. I am in charge, and if I don't like how you are treating me or my other commenters, you will be removed. That being said, I love open discourse. Otherwise, I wouldn't create discussion topics. So I'm not saying that just because you disagree with me that I'm going to delete your comment. Actually, that's not at all how this is. But, any phobias or isms are not allowed on my channel. Name calling, anything like that, just anything that is objectively like bullying or harassment, you're gone. You're done. There is no discussion. You're gone. I think that's probably the biggest one. Also, because I want to get back into the educational side of things, one of the boundaries that I have in general when it comes to people asking me questions is this something you could have Googled? And I know there's like this whole debate on if you should tell someone you can just Google that. But if you're not willing to do your own research ahead of time, there's a difference between asking me, can I use rosemary for protection? Versus, do you enjoy using rosemary versus sage for protection magic? There's a difference, right? One is asking my opinion. How do you feel about the difference between using one over the other? The other one is something you could have Googled, and I'm not exerting the energy to answer something that you could have just looked up for 5 seconds. If you're not willing to do your own research, you're not entitled to my time or energy. I am not a school teacher. As someone who has tutored and actually taught before, there is a time and place for actually teaching and giving someone like information versus spoon feeding people, right? So some people want to be spoon fed. They are, in my opinion, emotional vampires, energy vampires. And I'm not going to devote any time or energy towards supporting someone who is just out to drain my time and energy when they could have just done that crap themselves. So I have a boundary about that. Like, I'll give my opinion on certain things, and then if you keep coming back with basic questions, I'm just going to stop responding to you. So if you've seen that happen to you in the comments, then you know who you are. Number 18, do you have any current goals for your channel? Yes, I have some big goals, and then I have some small goals. My big goal is to get to the first tier of monetization. So I am there in regards to subscribers, but I have to get my video views up, I guess. So if you want to just put some of my playlists on your TV and let them play through. But I also would like to just get to that 1,000 subscriber just because it's a nice round goal. But I would say that's sort of a smaller priority. And then I want to, a bigger priority would be getting my engagement up. So I think this has more to do with me putting out more educational and discussion topics, and also engaging on other channels. So part of that's actually, it's all on me technically. So yeah, those are my main goals for the channel. 19, what are some of the mistakes you've made and how did you fix them? I don't think I made any mistakes. Nothing that I would constitute as an actual mistake. Nothing that I didn't blow up anything. I didn't get copyright strikes. I didn't, things that are going on my permanent record. Maybe I didn't do everything perfectly, but I think that YouTube is a platform where that will always be the case, that nothing will ever be perfect. There's always room for growth, and that's kind of how I have set up my channel to be. So as I keep going, hopefully my audio gets better, my video gets better, my content gets better, my presence on camera gets better. But yeah, I don't think I've done anything previously that was like an out and out mistake. It's just part of the growth of a channel. Yeah. Yeah. All right, number 20. What are some of the ways your channel has grown since your first video? Well, my first video was of a Witch's Moon unboxing, so that's very much like my tried and true, I guess, on the channel. And then my next video was similar, where it was a flip through of one of the Oracle decks that I have. So I feel like my channel has stayed the same in a lot of the core of how it started. But then it's also grown in the sense that I have my live streams now. I've actually been doing them for a lot longer than I realized, and this tag helped me realize that. I've done collaborations. I feel like I've grown in a lot of different ways, and I think how I present information to you guys has gotten better. My editing skills have gotten better. I feel like, the whole point is growing each time I do another video. Every time I record, every time I edit, every time I upload, I'm hoping that it's better than the last time. 21, have you ever wanted to quit making videos? Why or why not? No, not with this channel. I mentioned before that I had previous videos. This is when I was really big into YouTube. And if you don't know what that is, that's the beauty YouTube side with the like makeup reviews, makeup tutorials and stuff like that. I realized that I enjoyed more so being a consumer of those videos than a creator of those videos. So I did stop that. But this is not that. I enjoy creating these videos. I enjoy the flexibility my channel has, the variety my channel has. So there's always a little something. Sometimes I get a little bored with my flip throughs, but then I kind of throw something in here like this and I'm good to go. But I've never wanted to quit making videos. Sometimes I want to quit making specific types of videos or quit making them in the way that I do. But for the most part, no, not quitting. 22. What do you wish you knew before starting your YouTube journey? I don't think that there's anything I wish I knew. I'm very much more of a research first kind of gal. So I feel like I did a lot of due diligence. And because I told you I had the previous channel with the YouTube side of things, I kind of already knew what I liked and didn't like and how to navigate YouTube, how to navigate, uploading to YouTube. So, but I will say that what I wish other people knew was that it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. But each video you do gets better or easier, simpler, whatever that might be. So if you want to do it, if you want to create a channel and create videos, just do it. 23. Do you post on any other platforms? If so, what are they? Yes, I'm on a disperse array of places, but for Cosmic Lunar Soul specifically, YouTube is for my long form content. Instagram is for my short form content. And then I repost to TikTok and I repost some of the shorts to YouTube as well. It's YouTube, Instagram is where I started, but I enjoyed the longer form content. The live streams I enjoy better on YouTube. There's more discoverability here. So that side of things I keep over here. Short form I keep mostly on Instagram. Trying to build up my TikTok, I guess. I'm still not sure what I want to do with that. But then I'm also on Discord, and I feel like I want Discord to almost be the hub of everything, where, if you're on my YouTube and you want to discuss stuff, we can discuss it on, chat about it in the chat, and then pull it out and discuss it on Discord. But then on Discord, you have access to my Instagram and you can see some of that. So I think that's my vision for what I want the Discord to be, where I can do more things like if you saw Amethyst Ascension's video about the tarot story time, I did one of them over on my Discord and it was so much fun. And it was fun because in her video, she's doing the story, but when I did it on Discord, the other people could add on. Like I pulled the cards and they kind of gave their interpretation of the cards and how it fit into the story. And it was so much fun having it be more of a community game than anything. And I think it's a great way for people to kind of be introduced to, practice with tarot a bit and hear from more advanced readers, but then they also get their input, and it's a fun, low pressure way. So shameless plug. But then I also do the A Life Full of Simplicity is on my Discord with me. She is host of the Plan With Me, so we can talk through and do that. And it's a low pressure way of still incorporating planning, but when it's too different from what my channel is set up for, it can go on Discord. So if you're interested in all of that stuff. And then also I want to eventually do like tarot workshops, kind of, where we like talk through whatever of tarot, you know, common motif, symbolism, meanings, blah, 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 interconnectivity, all of that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of ideas for Discord. They're not fully rationalized yet because I'm still growing it, but we're getting there and it's really fun. Yes, it is fun. 24. Do you have any advice for those wishing to create a channel? I kind of already gave this. Just get started. Find some channels. I'll link them below. vidIQ has a channel devoted to helping people navigate posting on YouTube and how to grow on YouTube. Find channels that devote time and energy towards that and watch them. I personally find that stuff interesting because I like to figure out the path of least resistance, because I mentioned before that whole thing is really difficult to navigate. So it's good to have channels that will help guide you through that. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need, I mean, the microphone was only $40, but you don't need a whole rig. You don't need, 3 lights, even though that one was probably like $10. That, ring lights are cheap, whatever. But you can record. You don't need 2 GoPros. You can record on your phone. OBS is free. So even if you wanted to record through your phone into the computer, you could do that. You just have to be willing to look up videos and figure out how to set it up. So you don't need to break the bank in order to start making videos. You can literally just sit outside in indirect light and a little like $15 tripod with your phone and record your first video. So 25, who will you tag in this video? I don't know. I feel like I inadvertently tagged a few people because of the links that I put below. But I feel like if you found this video and you feel so inclined to, create a video. And if you do, tag me in it so I know to actually go and check it out. And I promise, even though I said I struggle with it, I will comment. But at the very least, you will get a few views from me because I tend to watch these multiple times so I can absorb what you guys are saying. But yeah, so that was the entire tag. No worries about me quitting anytime soon, but I do have to sometimes find ways to manage my creator burnout. And if you guys feel so inclined to help me reach my monetization goals, pick a playlist and just, let it play in the background while you're like cleaning or something. I don't know. But that wraps up the hashtag My Magical YouTube journey. And again, if you do this tag me in that video so I know to go watch it. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Bye.